Brogan, how was the boarding experience in Miami? Extremely easy. Other than the fact you had to, if you declared that you were vaccinated, you had to show that in the beginning. Otherwise, pretty much the same. Very, very easy. Terry, are all your deposits refundable? Yes. I rarely, if ever, book non-refundable deposits. Sometimes I do. Like, if I book a cruise and we're within final payment date, I'm just going to make non-refundable. There's no point. But if I have, if there's months to go until final payment, I always book refundable cruise fare. Sarah's got a question for us. Says, hey, Matt, the new class of ships are epic, right? So excited to see what they're going to be doing with this ship. So Sarah's talking about the Icon class of cruise ships, which is the next new class. So when we talk about class, we talk about, the Freedom class, the Oasis class, the Quantum class, but there's going to be a brand new class of ships called the Icon class. We don't know a whole lot of details about them. It's going to be about 5,000 passengers, which makes it bigger than the Quantum class, smaller than the Oasis class. It's going to be powered by a combination of LNG, liquefied nitrogen gas. It's powered by LNG and fuel cell technology, and it's going to be the first one's coming out in a couple of years. So it's kind of interesting. We don't know many details about it, but we're going to know more, obviously, very, very soon. So looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, Mel is here. Says, hey, Matt, thanks in advance for your feedback. Do we need to purchase the internet package using the Royal Caribbean app on board? You do not. You do not need to purchase any internet package in order to use Royal Caribbean's app. Few Embre says, question for you. Are paper menus no longer used? Heard they want you to use the app. They're both available, actually. And you can ask for the paper menu. I do that as well, so no problem at all. So they'll have the QR code on the table at any restaurant you're dining at, but you can absolutely ask the waiter, hey, can I get a paper menu? And they will give you one that you can use if you so choose. Just by default, it's QR codes. That may change going forward. There's actually a really interesting, I'll have up on the blog in the next couple of days here, an interesting interview with Royal Caribbean's head of, well, he's got a very fancy title, but essentially he's in charge of all the tech on Royal Caribbean, among other things. And he was talking about how the QR code sounded like a really good idea until you actually sit down. Part of being at a restaurant is holding that menu. And he said, listen, I love tech as much as anybody. I'm paraphrasing here. I love tech as much as anybody, but the paper menus are the way to go. So you can definitely ask for them, and that may come back sooner than you think. Good question here from NWO Dispatch. Will the Windjammer return to the way it was, or is it the way now with crews serving the guests will stay to stay? Good question. I suspect at some point it'll go back to the old way of guests serving themselves. I'm not sure when, but I think like many protocols on board, it will all be based on when the health and the science says it is safe to do so. That being said, the crew serving guests in the Windjammer buffet really is not bad at all. I actually like it. I think things move faster. There's a lot less of this honey, do you want some ribs? What? You want ribs? Who's dibs? Ribs. Meanwhile, I'm waiting for my ribs, right? It moves a little bit faster right there. So, good question here from Richard. Matt, how much, on average, do you think you save on a suite by booking next cruise on board? 0. Yeah, so you don't actually save any money by booking on board, Richard. What you get, there's no discount on your cruise fare. But what you do get, Richard, is onboard credit to spend. So you'll get whatever, you could book the cruise at home or on the ship. It's the same price. The difference is by booking on board, Richard, you'll get bonus onboard credit. And that can be very lucrative. So you're not going to save any money your cruise fare doesn't go down by booking a suite on board, but you will get extra onboard credit. But again, what I always tell people is this: don't wait to book a cruise on a cruise ship. If you're on the ship and you're hanging out with Shannon Ford and you're like, Shannon, this is so much fun, let's book another cruise together, right? And then you decide, okay, let's go to the next cruise, book the cruise. That's fine. That's a great idea. You should do that. But if you're sitting at home right now, which is a pretty solid if, right? You're probably sitting at home right now. Book your cruise now. Message Shannon to book the cruise, but don't wait to book it, because if you wait, the price can go up. Heck, it can sell out. So that's why I'm saying don't do that. Tiffany Parker, what ship would you recommend for someone who's never sailed Royal Caribbean? I think it's a great question. I always recommend the Oasis class ships or a Quantum class ship. Around 7 days is what you really want. If you get a 7-night cruise, Oasis or Quantum class ship, I think that's a perfect choice for a first timer because it offers the most variety of things to do, the latest and greatest that Royal Caribbean has to offer. And in addition to that, you're also going to get 7 nights, just enough time to kind of mix it all in and have sea days and port days. Those 3 and 4 night cruises go by so quickly. As a first timer, you just don't get enough time to really experience what cruising is all about, in my opinion. Jeff says, if the listed protocols for a ship on the Royal Caribbean website does not mention anything about masks, can I assume the mask will not be required on board? No, assume nothing. Assume the changes are possible. Assume the protocols will change. Jeff, for our Adventure of the Seas cruise, the protocols changed like 3 or 4 times. You should not assume that just because the protocols say something on day today, they won't change tomorrow, next week, a day before your cruise. I mean, they were changing protocols, Jeff, on some folks 2 or 3 days before the cruise. So there is no, do not assume. Assume only more changes are coming, and then be pleasantly surprised when they don't come. That'd be my recommendation. Traveling Better is here. Hello, Traveling Better. What protocols is going to be the most restrictive and least restrictive as far as protocols? Boy, that's a good question. Cozumel requires masks everywhere you go, like outside and in this summer heat and humidity. That's the issue. Otherwise, I've only been so far to Nassau, Freeport, Coco Key, and Cozumel, so it's not like I've been to many, but Cozumel, because of their rules, seem to have the most stringent rules, if you will. It's not that bad. But NYC Lover for Life. Question, was Giovanni's table menu on Adventure the same as Freedom? No. Freedom is a brand new menu. They redid the entire restaurant on Freedom of the Seas. In fact, Freedom of the Seas is the first Royal Caribbean cruise ship to have this new Giovanni's Italian kitchen concept. So it's a completely new revamped menu. The Adventure Giovanni's menu was okay, but the one on Freedom is absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I'm going to go on a limb here. And this is one of my new favorite, especially restaurants. I love the changes they made to Giovanni's Table Italian Kitchen. It's so good. I'm a big fan of it, and I really can't wait to get back over there. I went there twice in the 3-night sailing. That's how much I liked it. So, Bassoon, is the dining package worth it for an 8-night cruise on Symphony? Let me put it this way. A dining package will absolutely save you money on a cruise. The issue is, of course, for you is, it's a lot of food. It is a lot of food. They're not skimping on it. Eating at a special restaurant every day for dinner and on sea days for lunch, like, food fatigue is real. Like, you will literally be like, oh gosh, I can't eat anymore. I don't want to eat anymore. I just want to eat like a piece of pizza and that's it. But you paid for the dining package. But it's a great way to experience all the restaurants. Symphony has a ton of them. So it might not be a bad idea from that standpoint if you're kind of new to it, but bring your stretchy pants. Bring your stretchy pants right there. Keith, do I like to cruise with my friends? They're not followers, they're my friends. Yes, I do. We had a great time. I love meeting folks on board on Adventure and on Freedom. I met a lot of friends from here on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. We actually do, Keith. We have group cruises. We have one lined up in November on Harmony of the Seas, specifically designed for this. But yes, absolutely. I love meeting people who love cruising. It's always a lot of fun. All right, guys. Thank you again so much for joining us here. We're live every Monday right here. So come check us out each and every Monday as we talk Royal Caribbean together. And always check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice. I hope everyone has a great week. Stay safe out there. Do something fun, like maybe booking a cruise. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Good night, everyone.